Hey friends, welcome to Life Made Full. This podcast is centered around business, faith, and family, 3 areas that are dear to our heart. If you are a business owner in ministry, own a family business, or you have a family, join us today around our family table to discuss these topics and more.
We're live.
Welcome back to Life Made Full. I'm Micah.
Christy.
And Doug.
Should we always be introducing ourselves? You're giving me this blank stare. I know we're live. I'm asking you, should we always be introducing ourselves?
I would assume.
I'm new to the whole podcast thing, and so I just do whatever he tells me. Most of the time, all we do is we just show up. We've said that many times, like, we just show up. He has everything ready. We show up. We don't know what we're going to talk about. But today, I do want to ask Christy, as you notice, Christy's back. So Let's talk about what's going on in your world, Christy.
Just that newborn life.
How's that?
No sleep. Even though I got some sleep last night, but it's fun. Different. Getting into a new rhythm with 3 kids is different, but
it's easy. It's a breeze. Not that I had 3 kids.
Yeah, but it's been.
Well, don't they say anything after 2 is the same?
Yeah, I could see that. I think our biggest thing was where we had that age gap there. So where it's,
How much of an age gap?
Well, Bentley's 6, so.
Yeah. I know, but they don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm just looking at you like.
I know.
No thanks.
I know, but I did. Christy had to run an errand a couple of days ago, and I said, "Well, just bring her to me. I'll keep her for just a few minutes, so you don't have to take her out." And I had the boys. It was your birthday. I had the boys, and I looked at Justice or Jackson, one of them, and I said, "Don't you wouldn't you love to have a baby sister?" And they said, "Yes." Not happening, you say.
Nope.
Not happening. All right.
They can come hold her.
Well, that's true. That's true. They wanted to hold her, but she never woke up. So I said, well, you can hold her while she's sleeping. They said, no, we'll wait till she wakes up.
Yep.
So coming back, getting back into the swing of things. Mm-hmm. So the last podcast, Douglas and I opened it up with an icebreaker, which I thought we'll kind of do that a little bit. I don't have any random question to ask right off the top of my head, but I'll think of one, so get ready. And we're going to make it very brief, just really, really brief. So, Christy, I'd asked Douglas on our last podcast to give the viewers three things that maybe they did not know about you. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions. Can you give the viewers 3 facts about you that maybe they don't know?
Yep.
And don't look at me to fill in the blank, because I'm not doing it. He did, and I'm not doing it.
I would say the first thing would be that I love like worship music and that sort of thing. So I've just recently started with our worship team at church, which I have been absolutely loving that.
Oh, yes.
So that's been a new thing for me.
New thing at church, but
yeah.
You have been a worship leader in the past.
Yeah, for a much smaller scale.
Yes.
But so where, obviously if there's more people involved, obviously new nerves happen and different things like that. But yeah, so that's been fun. The second thing would be is that I guess it's kind of part of the first one, but it's still separate. I used to play drums. I could still play them if I got on them, most likely, but
you really you really were an amazing drum player. You remember her playing the drums?
Mm-hmm.
What was the one? It was like the kick pedal. Is that what it like?
It was
what
the
was
Pentecostal 2-step.
Yeah.
That's what they call it.
Stop, Douglas. Stop.
Yes.
No, the kick what was that called?
I mean, it's your kick drum.
No, it was a special one that you had to have. It was like
Oh, I never learned how to play that.
You do. What's it called though?
A double pedal?
That, Yes, that's right. Don't do it. You never learned how to do that? That you did.
Not really, no. I mean, I could mess around on it, but I never learned how to actually play with it.
Whatever.
That's when the snakes come out. Is when you learn that.
Yeah.
Douglas, that's not true. For those of you who are listening, you have to just bypass anything that he says on that part. So that is not true. That is not true. All right. So worship leader.
And I guess with the drums too, I can mention that I know some basic piano there.
Oh, I said I wasn't going to fill in the blanks. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hopefully you say this one. So you're part of the worship team. You play the drums and play around on the piano. Mm-hmm. That's 3, but those 2 go hand in hand. So give us one more.
I gotta think here.
I know it. Of course, I'm your mother. Of course, I'm going to know. But I hope you say this one. Hope you say it.
She was a skater girl.
Oh, yes. Well,
I was a wannabe. There's a big difference.
Well, how could she not when her brother was a skateboarder? Still, I mean, like we said, you still are. You still play around with it, especially with your boys, mainly Jackson. So, yeah. So how could she not be?
It was always just a wannabe, though.
Come on, Chrissy. Number 3. Number 3.
I'm trying to think.
Why is it so hard?
I guess because we don't like being in the hot seat like you do.
I love it. The more I'm in the hot seat.
What are you hoping that I say?
I'm not. Now, then that's telling. That's something. Okay, I will give you a little hint. I know you say I show her favoritism all the time. So I am going to maybe, there might be some truth. There might be just a dad bit of truth to that. Growing up, he always said she was the one with the halo, and he was the one with the whore. You really didn't think that, did you?
Of course I did.
She was just such a obedient child. But I will give you a small hint because I think that this is phenomenal. There's something that you've done that I said you cannot even do it until you get it copyrighted.
Oh, writing songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I also write songs.
She does. Now, I'm not just saying this. She has written quite a few songs, but one in particular that she wrote, that's been several years ago. Ooh, I'm telling you, it's powerful. It's powerful. So you write songs.
Yep.
How do you do that?
I'm still figuring it out.
I feel like a songwriter, it comes from this place.
Yeah.
Definitely a gift. Because music is so powerful, whether it's, just any music in general is powerful. It can literally change somebody's life. Hearing a song, a word, a verse, can just change somebody's life. Yesterday, particular, I don't know, at church yesterday, at the end of church, they came back out and was singing a song. And I looked over and there was this group and this girl was just, the tears was just flowing. And I knew in that moment that God was speaking to her through that song. And so songs are so powerful. Yeah. And it comes from this place of experience. So when you write, like when you have, wrote down, just words.
Yeah.
Tell me about that a little bit.
I feel like my style might be a little bit different than some. I don't know. I feel like mine more is on the lines of not really, I guess it's kind of storytelling, but it's not really.
Oh, that's
I guess
good.
It comes
that's
from
good.
a place
that's
of
good.
my story, or it comes from something that I've experienced, or and I know that there's a lot of writers that will even take other people's stories and create that into songs. And that's where I think that you usually get most of those powerful songs is through stories and through people's stories.
That's really good.
And
When are you going to write a song for me?
I hear you. But yeah, and I think that songs also just are, it's almost like, especially if you can tap into it, like when you're like with your spirit and stuff, I feel like it's sometimes like your spirit, it's what your spirit's speaking to you and getting you through, you know, different times of your life and different things.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. Well, the Bible even talks about that. He'll sing over us. The book of Psalms, it talks about he sings over us a song. And I like to think that, you know, in those hard times of life and business, wherever your feet are, that in hard places that you feel like giving up, you feel like you can't take another step. I always like to think that God's singing over us in that midnight hour. God's singing over us, and we don't even know it. So I like that. That's really good. Yep. So 3 things. So and that was all musical.
Yep.
It was all musical.
Yep.
So all right, Doug. So we're gonna take 2 minutes. We need to set time 2 minutes. Okay. Let me think of something random.
You only get 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Let me think of something random. Something so random that you would never. Something so random. Let me think something real quick. Random. What is the one regret? You're 30. You just turned 33. What's the one regret in your life thus far?
Oh
That you care to put publicly.
That you care. Yes.
Or don't
Yeah.
put publicly.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
That's so
question.
see these questions are like that was very random. I never think about that. What's your one regret thus far? You're 33. If you could do one do-over, what would it be?
And investing younger,
Ooh, that's good.
like 100%.
That is so good. Well, we just had this conversation. Or we could get into that a little bit. Investment. I know this podcast, family, business, faith, and I think we have this ability to bring all 3 of those things together. I think that, you know, like we just have ability to do that. So we were just talking. I told you because your birthday was Saturday, right? Was it Saturday? Yes, Saturday. Yeah, or Sunday.
Saturday.
Lord, I don't know.
It was Saturday.
It was Saturday. And I was telling you, I can't believe you're 33. I can't believe you're 33. And I told you that when I turned, I remember very vivid. I remember the day. I remember everything about it. You guys probably don't even remember. You guys getting me a birthday cake with the ice cream cone on top of it? This is 35. You probably don't even remember that. Well, I remember it.
No.
But anyway, I remember when I turned 35, that's when obviously everything that I had done up until that point in business, let's just go there for a second. In business, everything up until that point, you know, it's gaining the momentum. It's just, I talked to you this morning and something flew out of my mouth and I was like, oh, I need to write that down. Do you remember what that was?
No.
Consistency. Being consistent. Remember I talked about that? Like we have to be consistent in business and your consistency compounds year after year after year. Remember that?
I mean, I remember you.
Yeah, I said, that's good. That's really good. So consistency compounds year after year. And I was telling you that when I turned 35, that's when I really started feeling this shift in my business. And I knew that I was gaining momentum. Of course, that's been, 14 years ago? Something like that, 14 years ago?
Age.
I know. I should not be doing that. 15, 14, something like that. Anyway. So let's talk about the investment side. So I know that you're really starting to invest and that kind of stuff. Is there any advice you can give? What you've learned? I know you're in the beginning of it. I know that.
I've just been investing in crypto, and for the most part,
I don't know.
Aside from
crypto.
like Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Bitcoin.
Those are your 2 big ones. Those are pretty much guaranteed for a long term investment. But
Okay.
as far as like striking big, it's all a gamble. So,
Right. Well, you know what? In order to be an investor, you have to take risk.
Yeah. So
It is. You have to take risk.
Most of my eggs right now are in the Shibu.
I don't even know what that means. What is that?
It's a meme coin. I mean, its value is kind of a joke, but
Okay.
people are really taking it on. So I don't know. I've already I think I bought into it last month or so.
Okay.
And it's already about 20 times the investment I put into it. So
Okay.
you can't do any better than that in
That's true.
most markets. So
That's true. That's true. That's true. I like what you said. You wish you would have done it earlier, invest earlier.
well, investing in savings. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, those kind of go hand in hand.
Very true. Very true. What about you, Christy?
That was for him only.
I know, but I got to keep the conversation
And
rolling.
like people in my little tight camp, like Malachi and things like that, I wanted to invest in Bitcoin 10 years ago plus.
Mm-hmm.
Like right when Bitcoin was, no one knew what it was hardly, but I was young and I didn't know where to buy it. But if I would have, if I would have listened to my gut, I would tell Malachi every day, like, man, I want to buy some Bitcoin. I just want to buy some Bitcoin. I want to buy some Bitcoin. And yeah, this was when we were at Sims Lumen. Yeah.
Wow.
And didn't do it. And if I would have.
Okay. All right. Well, that's life. We learn. Like I've always said, we're going to make mistakes. Without those mistakes, we're not going to be the person we are today. Without the mistakes I made in the past, I would not be sitting here today. Without falling down and picking myself up, and I've got some bloody knees. I got a lot of skin in the game, as they say. A lot of skin in the game. So, what about you? Biggest regret.
Were you upset that you didn't think she was coming to you, so you didn't have time to think about it?
Oh,
I didn't think about it at all.
Well, I can tell you what my biggest regret would definitely be, and it goes back. Obviously in business, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't compare where you're at today to where somebody's at 20 years. Like, don't compare where you're at. Like, say you're just starting a business. And we were talking about this today, Christy. Don't compare your beginning to somebody's end. Does that make sense? And I believe as business owners, that's what a lot of people do. Because let me tell you what, everybody climbs the ladder of success one at a time. And I believe as business owners, I believe that they want this quick. Like, we want this quick now. And it doesn't happen. We had said today, like, very rare do you hear of overnight success. It's very rare. Let me tell you, you talk to the most, you find, let me tell you, find 3 successful people and ask them how they got where they're at. And I guarantee you, not one of them is going to say that it was an easy road. I guarantee you every one of them is going to say the same thing. Consistency. Knowing what time it is. I heard that one time and it's never left me. The most successful people know what time it is. What does that even mean? It means you know what season you're in. You know when you can discern when it's time for growth. You can discern when it's time to slow down a little bit. You can discern these things. I always say this in my coaching group. I've been saying this, that's a sure sign of a seasoned business owner, that when you can discern where you're at. Like right now, pull that up, Douglas, and I'm still haven't forgot. Pull that up, the article that you read. He had read this article and sent it to me, and he was saying this might be a good topic to get on, which I think we should get on it a little bit, because we would be blinded not to recognize the labor shortage that's going on. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just not here in Ohio. It's nationwide, right? Mm-hmm. But there was this article, so I want you to pick a few things out of that. Read it, and this is for obviously the cleaning industry, but this is not exclusive to the cleaning industry, because the labor shortage is across the board. You can go anywhere and see signs up. Restaurants, department stores. I mean, anywhere hospitals. The labor shortage is real. So, but this right here, this article is talking about the cleaning industry. So just pick a few things that you would like to talk about.
The headline is private cleaning companies are turning down business and canceling regular customers because they don't have enough staff. And this is a Business Insider article by Grace Dean.
Okay. So the article says that private cleaning businesses, cleaning companies are, what is it again?
They're turning down
business. We can 100% say that is true. We have actually been on pause for months now. We've been on this pause because it's more important to us to make sure that our home base, I always say it like that, some of these words, our home base is taken care of. So we've been on pause. It's because we want to make sure that our current clients are satisfied, and we're not willing to jeopardize. So my motto has been for the past 6 months, or whatever it has been, that we are maintaining. We're not taking on new clients. Now we have a wait list, which is growing every single day. You want to say something?
Well,
just interrupt me. That's all you got to do.
It's also, it's to maintain our quality for our clients, but it's also for our employees.
Yes. Very true.
Like that we're not burning them out and
very true.
Overworking them and overextending them as well.
That's right. And which goes back to to recognize as a seasoned business owner what state you're in. And we understand right now we're not in growth mode. And as hard as that is to say, you cannot be in growth mode without the manpower to be in growth mode. And so you've got to recognize that, because if you don't recognize that, it's a surefire way for disaster. So go ahead.
Well, one of them, part of it was a quote, and the quote is from Jonathan Bergstein, owner of Made to Sparkle.
Okay.
He said, "Every morning we have to decide who will be cleaned and who will not be cleaned." So I'm sure that's a tough decision, because you either have to decide, are you going to clean your customers that have been with you the longest, which I'm sure you're going to lean towards.
Absolutely.
But let's say you have a house that, is $300 or $400
very true
that day. Are you going to pick the bigger money one, or are you going to pick with your more valued client? That would be hard.
You want to ask me what I would do?
Well, I know what you would do, but go ahead.
What would I do, Doug?
You're going to pick your valued client.
That's right.
The ones that's been with you the longest.
That's right. Because loyalty to me, that's right. Loyalty to me trumps everything. Everything. You can't put a monetary amount on loyalty. So that, for me, it would be loyalty. Now, maybe this business owner, I don't know anything about this particular, but maybe he's new. Maybe he's just been in business a year, maybe 2 years. So maybe he can't.
And we're making assumptions. So
that's what I'm saying.
He may not even be doing that. I'm just saying, based on him having to pick, that's what I would, in my head, that's what I would assume. That's what he's picking between.
Right.
Your monetary value versus loyalty.
Right. And I can understand,
or even scheduling, like route optimization. Like
yes. But I can understand, the lens he's looking at through.
Oh yeah, it'd be tough.
It would be tough, because you got bills to pay, you got expenses, you've got your fixed expenses. That they're coming regardless. They're coming regardless. So I can, through the lens that he's looking at, I understand if he did choose the monetary. Yeah. I can understand that. You were going to say something, and did I cut you off? Okay. No. Just interrupt me, because you can tell when I get passionate about something. I know you say I get up in the mic. I do.
Well, yeah, you said that you weren't going to talk today that much because you weren't feeling too hot this morning.
I did.
And I said, you just wait and see. You won't stop.
I did. I hope that's true, but I don't think it's going to be true.
And, okay. And then For anybody that has read this or has seen it in the forums, the main thing that's upsetting everybody in the article is it says...
tell us, because I don't know. Is people upset over it?
Well, in the cleaning industry, it says record numbers of Americans have been quitting their jobs in search of better working conditions. And the cleaning industry, known for its low wages and lack of benefits, is no exception.
That's a myth. Whoever somebody wrote that, said that?
Yeah, it's whoever wrote this Business Insider article.
Well,
Grace Dean, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know who Grace Dean is, but Grace Dean, if you by chance you ever watch our podcast, might be slim to none, but if you ever do, is she saying that it's low wages?
In cleaning industry, correct?
Yeah, that's 100%.
Well, it does say known for its low wages, so I mean, I guess in the past maybe
could be. Or maybe it could be somebody that's not operating professionally and not reporting everything. That could be very true too. But if you're operating at a professional level that you should be operating at, then you should be paying your employees a very a livable wage, above a livable wage.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying something.
No.
So that's to me, I have to disagree with that one. On that.
Well, just to put some numbers to what it says also, because there was a recent update, 4.4 million U.S. workers quit their jobs in September.
Oh, wow.
4.4 million.
Okay. Quit for what reason does it say?
I'm sure that's up for debate between a lot of different people.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Interesting. What else? What else does it say?
Well, let me see.
Yeah, see, that goes back to, I don't know if it was podcast 1, podcast 2, I'm not for sure about that, but that goes back to another myth about, our industry. That it's low wages, you don't make no money, you're just doing this because you can't do anything else, you don't have, a leg to stand on. That's a myth. That's not true.
I mean, there are some companies that operate like that, but there's good ones too. That are doing high quality.
Yes, I would say
end.
For the most part, though, for me and the ones that I have been coaching for the past however many years, they are paying well.
Yeah.
Some, are paying above what they really should be paying or what they can afford.
Right.
So that's why I was saying that. So go ahead.
Well, then it just leads on another business. She just says that she quit advertising for growing the company and put that money to get employees. And then she says that she is losing between $10,000 and $20,000 in revenue because of the lack of staff.
Wow. Well, yeah. Okay. So you figure about that. So $10,000 to $20,000 worth of revenue a month. Is that what she's saying per month?
It doesn't say if that's year end or if that's monthly.
Okay. So let's just roughly say that. So if we have, let's roughly say, I'm going to try to do some quick math in my head. So hopefully I get this right. I'm going to try to do some quick math in my head. So let's just go for 10,000. Let's say she's losing 10K a month. Because, the whole cleaning industry, there's some that say solo, there's some that say teams. We're teams, we'll always be teams. I have a very strong opinion about teams that we won't, for sake of time, we won't go into that why I feel that way. But we're always going to be teams. We've been teams since day one. So roughly, a team of 2 can roughly, let's just say, between $500 and $650 a day revenue a day. It's usually what it brings in. So let's just go for quick math, $500 a day. So do the math on that. What is that? $2,500? That's $2,500 a week. Yeah, that's $2,500 a week times 4 is 10K. So let's just roughly say, what is that? Like 20 houses. So I'm just trying to figure up quickly how much work she's turning away. So you can figure up quickly the amount of work that she's turning away.
Yeah, if it's on the weekly.
Yeah, if it's weekly, or even bi-weekly. So let's just, think about that. So she said she's taken away, she's losing 10K. I know she said 20, but I'm just saying 10K.
Yeah.
She's losing 10K a month. So if we put that in, and so she said she's putting that back towards advertising, or she's taking away advertising.
She's taking advertising away to
put it towards hiring.
Yep.
Okay.
So like
All right.
probably, Indeed and things like that.
Okay. So let's talk about that, because we said that on one of the podcasts, that I know that business owners, maybe they are coming down to this, to where the rubber meets the road, and they're saying, I'm going to have to cut out something. I'm going to have to cut out my marketing. I'm going to have to cut out my advertising. And we talked about why that's a big mistake. And I feel like, since we're going there, let's go there again on why that is. Now getting back, I know that when the rubber meets the road, we have to make some decisions. And here, sometimes when our back's against the wall, we don't like our back against the wall, because when we are operating in this place of desperation, we make bad decisions.
Yeah.
Horrible decisions. So, taking away your advertisement, with us, we have said, even though we're on pause, we're not stopping our advertising. We're not going to do it, because we've gained all this momentum through it, that I'm not willing to jeopardize losing momentum. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is if there's nothing else you can cut, then yeah, I can understand.
True.
But,
yes.
But you still you don't cut it completely out. You take, and then
reduce it down. Don't strip it down to zero, but just,
I don't know. Maybe she is it's a very successful company, and
it could be.
She might be, maybe she has a bigger salary. You could be putting some of your salary towards your hiring and keep your advertising going as well. I mean, it's just, how bad do you want it?
Very true. Very true. Well, let's just talk about that. So let's think of some ways, Chrissy, because I know you're going to know this, because prior to you taking over, obviously, my position, you were the finance department. Yeah. You were the finance. She's amazing with numbers. So what are some of the ways that, if you are a business owner and you are starting to feel that, you're starting to feel like, okay, I'm going to have to start cutting back in some areas. What are some of the areas? Maybe we can give some advice on some areas of trimming down. I always say, trim down some fat. Look at your budget. What can you trim down? Because I guarantee you, in the budget, there's some fat that you can cut off. There's some excess somewhere, whether it's $20, $30, $40, $50 a month. Well, that adds up. So what are can you think of anything random that they could cut back on?
I mean, it's a little bit difficult in our, because you already have always just ran ours like that. So you don't like to spend any extra money if it's not needed, no matter what.
That's very true.
It doesn't matter. So it's a little bit probably different, to where if I was to look at somebody else's, I mean, I'm sure that there's, a lot more.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously, like Douglas said about, cutting down, if with the pay, or, the owners, if there's any room there. I don't, obviously, like, people spend a lot of money in coffee. I mean, literally, like Starbucks coffee, like that. I've literally looked at businesses that, we went into,
mm-hmm.
and it's, there's a lot of coffee on there and different things, versus making it at home. Obviously, supplies for us is a huge one, our cleaning supplies.
Quality control.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yes, making sure that, that whoever is over quality control knows what's leaving your office every day and what's coming back in. We do. Mm-hmm. So that's just been since day one. We know everything coming out and everything coming in. Over inventory. I've always said it this way. Maybe you need to check your inventory. Maybe you have excess inventory, which...
Yeah.
When, you got to think about it this way, that every, dollar that's sitting on your shelf is a dollar less in your account. So you got to be thinking about it that way, especially when you need to trim down. You don't need to have, 50 cans of whatever it might be.
There is, though, another budget side to that, though, too, that there is more budget friendly when you buy bulk.
True. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about in excess. Like you can go through somebody's inventory and they don't need 100 cans of this.
Well, that's what she's saying, though.
Yes.
Buying in bulk, you can get it cheaper.
I agree with that. I agree.
There is some, but I know what you're saying too.
Well, I'm just talking about
where you have to figure out like what's going to be better and what's not. But supplies is a huge one in our industry that will cut.
Absolutely. You need to figure out products that are universal, that you can use on, multiple surfaces. Our supply cost is like 1%. It's literally like 1%. And it's always been that way. Another ways, making sure that your teams are doing routines. That's so vital to know that everybody's on the same page. It's going to save you thousands of dollars. You would be surprised at the business owners that I talk to that they don't have routine. They do not have a routine. Their teams go in and it's just, okay, you're going here and you're going there and we'll meet in the middle. No. That's costing you thousands of dollars over the course of the year. So routine is vital. There's many different ways that you can cut down on what's coming in. I always say this, what's going out. You might not necessarily be able to control what's coming in right now. You might not be able to do that, but you can sure control what's leaving. And you have to have a pulse on that. Mm-hmm. Every single month, you got to know. So anything else on that article that you'd like to talk about? Did that cut off? Did the camera cut off?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it back on here in a second.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So nobody can see us right now?
No, but we still have audio.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You need to pop your collar again.
Oh, pop my collar. I need to pop my collar.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Hold on.
As you can see, we're not script. Was you going to say something?
No, I was just thinking another way would be that we've talked about as if even as an owner, obviously we have responsibilities that I know are outside of cleaning and different things like that. But if you have time that day and you're not doing anything, then you can also go out and help your teams get off, that's saving on payroll.
Absolutely. Like I've said before, don't be so quick to get out of your business. Regardless if it's the cleaning industry, whether if you're watching this and you don't have a cleaning business, but maybe you have a boutique, maybe you have a restaurant, maybe you have, a lawn care business. It doesn't matter. Don't be so quick to get out of your business, because I'm telling you one thing. When you are present in your business will show it. When you take the time to be there, know what's going on, especially if you are new to business and you just started your business, or let's just say you're a couple years in, less than 5 years in. Statistics prove that the longer you are in business, the chance of your survival rate will increase. And wholeheartedly for me, I didn't even ever think about being not at my office for 21 years. It was 21 years before I ever thought, well, maybe I'm not going to be here every day. Maybe I'm not going to be. And that never was in my thought process, not to be involved in my business, not to be there. And I hear so many business owners that, they want to say they're, I'm not, at my business, or I'm not involved in my business. Yes, I understand your business has got to run without you. That is a business. When your business is hinged on you, that is, if your business is hinged on you showing up at the office every day, or you showing up every day, then you have a job, and y'all know what book that is. But if if you have structured a business to where if you want to be there, great. If you're not there, great. Either way, it's going to make money. Either way, you still have money coming in every single day. And so with me, it took me 21 years. Yeah. And still, that was a big, you would tell me, I'd come in and you'd be like, she would point for me to go upstairs because we were at that transition, the transition phase for me to fade. I had to let her take the reins, and that was hard.
Very,
that was so hard.
She likes to be in control. So
no.
Yeah. So
no. That's my Enneagram 8.
So imagine how hard it was for you to turn it over to your own daughter.
True.
And then imagine what a business owner, when they want to do it and kind of turned it over to like a manager.
Oh, no, that would never even happen.
She couldn't even go to that place.
I wouldn't. No, I could not. Because let me tell you something. When I made the decision, okay, I'm going to start transitioning now, that was not overnight. I worked with you. It was a couple years because I knew when my husband retired that I wanted to travel. Y'all know, I was going to travel. I was going to be an evangelist. You know, I am a minister. I'm sure everybody knows that by now. It's not a secret. I am an evangelist. Matter of fact, I will be out this coming up Saturday. I'm going to be in a revival. So that was the whole plan. I was going out. I was going to hit the road evangelizing. Well, God changed that and called me actually to help the small business owner. And when I tell you God called me to help the business owner, God truly called me to help because I thought I was going evangelizing, but God gave me this whole other ministry right at my fingertips. So yes, it was not something I just handed over like, oh yeah, go ahead and take it. That would be like giving a 5-year-old the keys to your car and telling that 5-year-old to go drive. That's how I would parallel that. And so it was a couple of years of, I don't want to say training, but in the sense it was teaching you.
I think I was definitely ready before you were ready though.
Probably so. Every phone call teaching you, okay, this situation, this is how you handle it, and this is how you handle it. And now obviously, several years later, you handle all the situations and put the fires out and only call me on explosions.
Yeah.
Or sorry, I said volcanoes.
Yeah, and I'm not even calling you to handle it. It's usually handled. It's just to vent out what just happened.
True, which is very rare. You handle it. And you do your job with excellence.
To get back on this
go ahead
before we get too far off.
Okay. Bring me back. Wheel me back. Just wheel me back in.
So another business owner said that she was now at full staffing levels again.
Okay.
Which she attributes to two things. Mm-hmm. So she's in Florida.
Okay.
Raising the starting pay.
Shout out to Florida.
Raising her starting pay to $14 an hour in May.
Okay.
Up from $11 pre-pandemic. So she done a $3 raise.
Okay. I agree with
starting
that.
Pay. And then Florida cutting off the $300 weekly supplement unemployment benefits in June.
Okay. She
then raised her prices between 5 and 10% to fund the higher wages, and no customer was upset about that.
Oh, your customers won't be. Your customers will, if you have delivered on consistency, quality, if you follow through, if who you're sending in their home matches your standard, you're not just going to hire, and that's where we could just hire anybody, right? We could just hire anybody, but that's not our standard. We're not just going to put a warm body in somebody's house for the sake of putting I would close my doors before I ever done that, right?
Yeah.
And so she bumped up her $11 to $14 an hour, which I agree with that. We did that several years ago. We went on a whole hiring strategy, completely revamped everything, had our start pay higher, which I believe contributes to the longevity of our employees. And she raised, obviously, the $300 quit, and she raised her clients 5 to 10%. And they're not clients. If you are, like I said, if you are consistent delivering your delivery, clients are not. They're not. But you have, which that could be a whole nother topic of your hourly and making sure that you are where you need to be on your hourly when you're going in and you're giving estimates. If you have employees, you cannot be at $20 or $30 an hour. You cannot. And I coach women that I'll tell them, okay, so what are you hourly?
Yeah, well, a solo, that's one thing, you know.
Oh, no.
If you plan on doing that forever, and that's...
No, I said if you have employees.
Yeah, no, I know you said that. I was just agreeing with you.
100%. You cannot sustain a payroll on $20, $30 an hour. You cannot. You have got to be, everyone that I coach, you have got to be anywhere. I like for my women that my business owners between $45 and $50 an hour. And we're higher than that. But in order to offer that, or in order to get that, you got to have the credentials behind you. And what I mean by that is your reviews, your quality. If you're going to ask top dollar, then you better be delivering top dollar service, right? Mm-hmm. And so, $20 or $30 an hour is not going to cut a payroll.
And then back to the, raising rates, like we were just talking about how we did that. The thing that people don't understand also is when you raise your rates, you get better employees out of it. So you're going to get a better finished product in the end.
Absolutely.
And more efficient. So when you get better efficiency, your payroll is going to go down.
Yes.
And it all balances out.
Yes, absolutely.
They're so afraid to pay them more.
Yes. Well, but this is what I tell business owners: run your numbers before you do anything. Run your numbers. That's what we do. Yeah. Before we do anything, we'll see what it's going to look like. Okay, well, if we do this, what's it going to look like? So you can't just jump. You got to see what the end's going to look like. But yes, I agree with you 100%.
And that's also obviously with somebody that's doing the correct routines, and for our industry,
all of that. Well, even for any industry, it's just like an assembly line.
Well, yeah, because a lot of the times we do it occasionally all the time, especially with our quality control. Like we spruce up and just resharpen their tools, and the payroll will go down slightly. And then once you notice it goes back up, then you're resharpening the tools and refreshing them on the routines.
That's right. Any payroll, I would say, your payroll should be 50% loaded or below. Now, I say that because I have walked into businesses and their payroll is like 72%, 73%, 65%. And if your payroll is that high and that percentage, chances are you don't have a routine. You don't have a good pulse on where your teams are at or your employees are at when they're out in the field. Because that's the thing. You got to know there's got to be accountability in the field. And if there's not, your payroll is going to reflect that. We went to this business. We've worked with them for several years. And when I first went, her payroll was like 65%. And I've been working with her for 2.5 years now. And I actually just asked her the other day, because she's in one of my advanced coaching groups. And I talked to her the other day and I said, so tell me, where's your payroll at now? And she's like, oh, it's right about, I think she said it was like 49%. So we had went back. So getting back to that, with the first time we went, her payroll is 65%. We went back a quarter later of just bringing in the routine, changing the routine, tweaking it, making sure everybody's on the same page. Went back a quarter later and it had dropped. I think at that time it was like 52%, something like that, like 52%. So had dropped like 12% in a quarter. So do the math on that over the course of the year. It's going to save you thousands of dollars. The ROI on that for us coming, it's long paid for itself. So anything you'd like to add to that? Because I feel like I have just like spewed.
No, I don't think so. I think you covered it all.
Did I leave anything undone? Sometimes I
so.
can go sideways. Don't mean to, but I can. Did I leave anything undone?
I don't think you did.
Okay. All right.
Not that I can think of.
I tell you, they have to work with me. All right. So the biggest, you never did answer that, Christy. Biggest regret thus far. Life, business, ministry. What is it?
I gotta think of how to word it.
Oh, see, you
I
did
guess
think
it would-
about it.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Okay.
Well, it's more like
Bring
how
it,
you,
sister.
It's more like how you, like I know what it is, but it's like more like how you put it in words. But it's more.
Just shoot from the hip.
I know we're so you would just say it however it comes out is how it comes out, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, move on.
Oh gosh.
But I guess it would be more like not. I don't know. I get in my head a lot, and so I think it would be like I let fear, not letting fear dictate, I guess, as much as I have in my
That's
life.
good.
There's the words.
Go on.
Iron it out in my head on how to get it out right.
That's good.
But yeah,
Not letting fear dictate your life.
yeah.
You want to unpack that
different-
just a little bit?
Oh, there's a lot there. There is a lot there. I mean, well, just when we started this, I mean, Douglas probably remembers me. I was freaking out because I just don't even like the way my voice sounds, and that's, I mean, as simple stuff as like that, like fear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of,
Yeah.
you know,
That's everybody.
what are you going to sound like? Fear of, if I
Besides
I
mom.
Yeah.
Everybody besides mom. She loves the way she sounds.
No, I do not. I don't go back and listen. No, well, that's a lie. That is a lie. I have went back and watched one, because I go back and watch your reaction, and it cracks me up just to see these two, the way they look at me. It's a whole reality. Like, oh. You know what you need to start doing? You need to start adding some memes to some of the expressions.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right.
Yeah. I mean, so just overall.
We can
like,
be our
where-
own worst critic.
Yeah. And it's like how much you let fear basically in is, I mean, that's a perfect way for the enemy to stop you from anything.
From growth.
Yeah. From anything.
Literally from anything.
Yeah.
Yes. And what has been, I don't know, maybe you'll know, maybe you won't know, what has been my motto the past probably year and a half, maybe. Ever since.
Dude, like I'm going to know your motto.
I know. She's probably had like 50.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You have numerous mottos.
Wait, no, you will know this one. Ever since you said we're going to start this podcast, we're going in this direction, and the many different things that we're doing that we can't put out on air yet because there are, we can't do it yet, but you'll see. I've always said, but maybe past year and a half, it's not about me. Maybe I don't like the way I look. Maybe I don't like the way I sound, but it's not about me. You sent me something.
Well, I think I'm the one that told you that. But,
No, you
and
did
then
not.
Then you've made it your motto now.
You did not. You sent me something not that long ago. Well, no, it's been like 6 months ago. And I was like, oh, I do not put that up. Oh, no, you did put it up. That's right. You put it up. And I called you and I was like, why did you put that picture up of me? And you was like, what are you talking about? That's a good picture. And I'm like, Douglas, I look ridiculous in that. Why did you put that up? And then I stopped myself and I said, it's not about me. This is not about me. And I think that what you said, Christy, hit, how many people can relate to that? Because fear will just keep us paralyzed. It will stop us. It will absolutely amputate our legs. If you, I just thought of that. It will amputate our legs. If you really think about it, it will cut us and just stop us completely in our
walk.
I crack myself up in our walk if we allow fear. Mm-hmm. And that's just something that we got to overcome. And the more we do it, I think the more we overcome.
Yeah.
It's like Paul said, I press towards I'm pressing towards, I'm forgetting what's behind me. I'm not looking back, but I am pressing towards what's in front of me. What's in front of you, your future. How are you going to secure your future? It's just keeping on. And when
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so is fear insecurities? Like, I'm not asking Chrissy particular. I'm just saying out loud.
That's really good question. That's no, I mean, let's go there because that's really good. What do you think? I think I know the answer to that.
I would say, yeah, a lot. I would say that there's a lot that is insecurities.
Absolutely.
I guess it's kind of different on what area of fear. See, for me, just being my personality type, as we talked over dinner and stuff, like that can go literally as far as like fear with my family, as far as like with my kids being sick, and just fear all over. But when it comes to probably putting yourself out there, like on a podcast or on social media and different things like that, that's definitely probably operated out of insecurity.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.
Because it's more like there's, you always have that voice of, well, people's going to think you sound stupid, or you look, how we are as women,
Oh, absolutely. Women, we are our worst critic. I don't think that men carry the same weight as women. I think men carry their own weight and insecurities, but I think it completely is different than women, because you could care less as far as what you look like. Yeah, you want to look nice. I don't mean it like that, but you don't care. You don't care.
Yeah.
So that's really good. It's really good, Christy. You're so wise. And so we just got to remember, the more that we do it, the more that we will overcome that fear. And anything in your life that you do, and I've said this to both, that you're going to make an impact. I've said you're going to leave your fingerprint here on this earth, that somebody's going to know that you were here. Somebody's going to know. And I believe that when you are making such a huge impact, fear will try to stop you. Mm-hmm. The insecurities. You're not good enough. You don't know enough. You don't look good. You sound awful. You're too high pitched. You look wide. Whatever it might be, but just keep moving. If you have to do it with your life,
it's even in business though too.
Absolutely.
You're not good enough.
Absolutely. Somebody can do it better. Well, let me tell you something. If everybody could do it, everybody would be doing it. And entrepreneurship is one of the hardest things you're ever going to do in your life. When you literally take something and you build it from nothing. Like you have a vision. That's all you have. You can see it. Nobody else can see it. Nobody can see your vision. Nobody cares to see your vision. Like they can't see it, but you can see it. And when you are building this, there's going to be all of this doubt, all of this coming in. And you're going to wake up and you're going to question yourself time and time and time and time again. And over and over and over again, you're going to question yourself. Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Yep, it is. And you just keep going with that. You just keep doing that over and over and over. Consistency compounds year after year. And before you know it, you're going to look back and you're going to see all this momentum, and you're going to see the fruit of your labor. It's not overnight, but you will see it. And you're going to say, wow. Mm-hmm. Wow, it was worth it. All those nights I couldn't sleep, the early mornings, the long hours, it was worth it. It was worth it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Good. That cut off again.
Yep, we're having some difficulties today.
Well, but it didn't stop our voice from rolling.
No, audio's still good. That's all that matters.
That's all. I know. I'm learning. I guess most people just listen anyway. They don't watch.
Yeah. I mean, our analytics are more towards the iPhone podcast.
Now
and
I
stuff,
watch.
YouTube does.
I watch.
Benefits.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Last minute words.
I don't have any. I'm golden.
You're gold.
I think we filled in any motivation for the day. So
well, that's very true. That's very true. So we didn't talk about this, but I would like to leave the viewers with what we're going to be talking about on the next podcast. Even though you say we're not script, but I thought that we could bring in some tips on the next podcast, maybe tips on how to be successful. So stay tuned for the next podcast. If you have not liked or subscribed to our channels, please do so, and subscribe, leave us a review. Reviews are huge, whether you, especially as a business owner, reviews they're a big deal.
Yep.
They're a big deal. So if you are enjoying this podcast, leave us a review, and until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.